bringing you this season. What I've decided to do this year is essentially try and release my videos as a series with a video a week. By calculations, I've got about 11 or 12 videos to do. Guys, today we're looking at my new kit bag for this season. I don't usually do kit bag review videos, however I am making a fairly sizable configuration to this particular bag. That means it's going to be quite different to the actual retail products. So guys, today we're looking at the Blue Dog Sports Purebred Players Edition bag. New design for this season, 2017-18. It is an updated kind of model. Alright guys, let's get into the actual review video. Right guys, so here's the actual kit bag. It's a nice large size wheelie style kit bag with a very, very attractive royal blue, gold and white colour scheme. Guys, one of the things that, or the main reason that I decided to go ahead with the Blue Dog Sports bag again was due to the number and size of the pockets. So getting into the actual review video itself, we've got what is the side of the bag. There are these two very, very good sized pockets on the side, and on the end has similar sized pockets at both ends. They're not quite as large, but still pretty large. Having that storage space around your bag is something that comes in very, very handy as a cricketer. If you're a cricketer that carries a lot of stuff or likes to be an organised cricketer, having those pockets is really, really helpful. Alright, let's have a quick look at the external pockets. Now, just as a clarification, I do have the kit set up as a simulated wicketkeeper's kit. What I mean by that is I'm not a wicketkeeper, so I don't have keeping gloves or pads. So I have put in a second set of batting pads into the kit to simulate a wicketkeeper. Right, let's get into it. First one, this is the actual bottom end of the bag. In the end here, I do have a bag of old cricket balls. I know wicketkeepers like to take a couple of catches prior to getting the game underway, so got those in there. Coming up to the other end, I've got this currently set up as my personal effects section, so wallet, phone, keys, that sort of stuff in that area. This particular pocket here I'm using as the medical compartment. So we've got sunscreen. I like keeping anything that's wet or liquid away from the main part of your bag because sunscreens have a habit of ruining bats pretty quickly. So we've got some sunscreen, some cold spray, some strapping tape, some headache tablets, that sort of stuff in that one. And guys, just to give you an idea exactly how big these side pockets are, even though it's unlikely for a wicketkeeper to carry a set of or a second set of shoes, here I just wanted to show exactly how big the pockets were, and so I have been able to fit not one but two New Balance 4040 cricket shoes from a couple of seasons ago into the bag there. So plenty of room for your odds and ends on the outside part of the bag. Coming towards the top section, the first thing to talk about is a nicely padded closure on the handle and very long handles on the bag as well, or straps on the bag. I really like that because there's nothing worse than coming across some uneven ground and your bag's kind of rocking around, tipping, and all you want to do is pick it up, but you can't because you can't get your shoulder into there. Nice hole there for the arm and the shoulder to go in, and a nice padded strap to allow for that carrying to occur. Good Velcro in there for quick fastening and quick release as well. Guys, one of the changes to the bag this season is moved away from a D shape inside the top of the bag to being a full flap that opens up. The zippers that are on here are good luggage quality zippers with little rings on them that you can actually put a padlock through. So if you're travelling with your cricket kit overseas to play for an overseas tour, or you just, quite frankly, want to use your cricket bag for domestic or international travel, you can do that because it's got those fastening components on every one of the zips, which is great. Coming to the inside flap of the bag, and this is the reason why the change. Inside the front flap we have actual two bat sleeves. These aren't padded, which would probably be my one sort of criticism of that. They're not padded bat sleeves. I've got just some old netbacks in there, so that's an old SG that I've had restickered, and this one here was the old GM that I was using, GM66, that I did a review of a few years ago. So those are there. They're not padded. If I was going to use these, which I'm not intending to, I'd probably leave those unzipped because you don't really need to zip them up. But a bit of padding on those, especially on the top part here. It is a double layering on the outside, but having an actual bit of padding on there would, considering it's right at the top of the bag, I think wouldn't have gone astray. Guys, looking at the inside of the bag, I have got it set up to simulate game day as well. So, bag of creams and a towel for these hot Australian days. Now guys, if we have a look at the actual inside, the top, it actually has then the D shape in here. So you've kind of got about a 4 or 5 centimetre space in here for bats, and then for clothing as well, if you want to fit that in here. You've got the big D for the main compartment, and then there is an actual shoe kind of vault in here as well. So as I said, simulated wicketkeeper's kit. So the shoes in here, I've got some New Balance 4030s in here. Now the fabric in here is actually a good hard wearing one. That was one of my concerns when I did order the bag, that might be pretty ordinary. I'm not intending to use the shoe vault as for shoes, so it's not too much of an issue for me. But that's a nice little touch, just having your shoes in that nice orderly fashion. Probably a slight criticism is there's a lot of space there for the shoes, but the zip is quite a small one, and so as you saw there, I did struggle to get the shoes out of that particular spot, as I loaded shoes first and then the rest of the kit. So that's just something to keep in mind. Coming into the actual space for the kit, a nice, good, solid spot there. My criticism of the SD piece here is that I do feel that the bag is closed off quite a bit by this. It's probably a slight sort of consideration again. You've got a lot of this area up here that's all material that closes off your bag and makes it a little bit claustrophobic for me. But to give you an idea of the amount of kit that's in here, thigh pad combo and box in there. My batting pads that I've been using for the last couple of seasons that are there. This is where I have the simulated wicket keeping stuff, so another set of batting pads in there as well. Set of batting gloves and then a helmet in there as well. So you've got plenty of room in there. There's still actually a little bit of room still on top there, but plenty of room to allow for your kit to all go in. Guys, now that the bag's sort of basically empty, I just want to come into the bottom of the bag and talk about a few things. On the bottom of the bag here, we do have the 3 luggage style wheels, and they give a pretty good support. Over the last 4 years, I haven't really had much of a problem with the stability of my bag, other than the fact that I may have put too much weight towards the side of the bag, and that makes it a little bit unstable. Only the 2 rails on the bag. Guys, a small customization from me on the bag, and that comes down to this section here, and you probably can't see it in the shot here, but the rail isn't actually linked or joined to the wheel housing on these out 2 wheels. Now what that means is you end up with a weak point between the 2. When your bag's fully loaded up, the wheels do fold back. So what I've done is I've got onto the inside of the bag and have actually screwed from the bottom. I don't know whether you'll be able to see it, but in the bottom part of the bag here, I have actually screwed in some little bits of timber just to give that a better stability along the bottom of the bag. And that's just a configuration, a customization for me. Guys, one of the final things to talk about here is the bag comes with a suitcase handle for carrying, which that's something that this was really the previous version really was the first cricket bag that I really had that on. Now I think I'm going to struggle to have a cricket bag that doesn't have that luggage handle on it, simply because I've been so impressed with the quality that kind of brings. Guys, a couple of pieces to talk about in regards to the bag. The materials aren't quite to luggage grade materials yet. A number of the cricketing manufacturers throughout the world have got to a luggage grade material inside their cricket bags. The guys from Blue Dog Sports aren't quite there yet, but what you do see is a price point to sort of match that. Having said that, I was involved in a game that was very, very wet last year. I had to walk quite a distance from the chain sheds to my car, and because of the fact that it wasn't a luggage grade material, it has this sort of rubber lining to it. which meant that in carrying my bag, virtually nothing inside my bag got wet because of that. The outside of the bag was quite wet, but the actual inside part was very dry, and that's probably one of the good features I really think. Rightio guys, time for a rating out of 10 for the product. Now the areas that I look at for that rating, the first one is the design and functionality, the second one is material quality and build and finishing quality, and the third one is customization of the product. So let's get through there. First off, design and functionality. Design and functionality is reasonably good. I'm not a huge fan of the shoe vault in the bag. I think it does take up a lot of space inside the bag. That means you do become quite claustrophobic in the bag, and you have to be very strategic in the way that you load your bag. What most cricketers are bad at doing is packing their bag when they're finished using it. So it will slow me down in the change room to get out of there in the afternoons at the moment, and hence why I'm going to do a configuration to the bag. In regards to the materials and build quality, again, pretty good. Probably one kind of drawback there for me is there is a little bit of kind of stitches missed on this one, which isn't a huge deal, but it's just that difference between a product that you're going to pay sort of top dollar for and that next level down. For me, it's about value for money. I'm happy to accept a couple of those things because you're still getting a good value for money product. Guys, the final one is in regards to customization. I'm being critical of the fact that I have needed to go in and doing that reinforcing between the wheels and the rails. So there is a slight drawback there. So overall, probably taking a mark out from each one of those sections. So a rating out of 10 is 7 out of 10. However, so other bags that are on the market that I would rate higher than this come down due to the fact that you cannot, and there's a bit of a challenge here guys, if you can find a cricket bag that's from a big manufacturer at the moment where you can get pockets that are as large as this one, because I simulated and showed those shoes going on the outside of the bag because that's where I do store those shoes, and that was one of my key characteristics in finding a new bag, was having that pocket that my bowling shoes or my fielding shoes could go into. The last final piece to talk about is in regards to bags, $140 plus any postage related costs if you're outside of Australia or in other parts of Australia other than Brisbane. Righto guys, that pretty much concludes this review of the Blue Dog Sports Purebred Players Edition bag, the new version or updated version for 2017-18. Guys, as always, happy to take any questions or comments on any of my videos that I do release. It's all about the quality of the product that I release to you, so I'm pretty keen to make sure that I'm still delivering what you guys value as a product. Guys, the final piece from me, if you are a long time watcher of bat and ball cricket but not a subscriber, I really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. Not only do you receive my videos in your subscription feed, but I actually get quite a thrill in seeing the iPhone go off and letting me know that it's another cricket fanatic or a cricket fanatic, whichever you might be, that has subscribed to my channel. And also don't forget to hit that notification bell. That means that you get the notifications as well that when I've actually released a video. Right guys, as I said, another kind of 10 or 11 videos to be released over the next few weeks. So I am going to give it my best efforts to make sure that I release that video as close as I possibly can to that same time each week. This is Clinton from Bat and Ball Cricket. We'll catch you again really soon. Bye for now.